Hello everyone. This video is a part of the series of the videos of the ongoing challenge on LeetCode, which is June LeetCoding Challenge 2020. You can find the link to the complete playlist in the description of the videos, where I have added solution along with the explanation for all the challenge problems that have been published till now. Okay, so with that, today we have week 2 problem number 7, cheapest flights within K-stops. So this problem is exactly like Dijkstra, where you have a total of n cities and you have a total of m weights connecting two cities. So each weight connect two cities, and the task is to find the minimum weight or the minimum distance to travel from one city to another city. But in this particular problem, you have an additional constraint where you can only have up to k cities in between the source and the destination. Okay, so how do you solve this kind of problem? Is something which is very similar to Dijkstra. But since we have this additional constraint of k, that we can only have up to k stops in between the source and destination, so we'll be taking that into account as well. Okay, so the approach that I'll be teaching you in this video is something that you can also follow to code up the simple Dijkstra problems as well. So I've seen many a times that people are often confused how to code up the Dijkstra problem, because some people are using minheap for that, some people are using set for that. So I'll give you a template which you can follow in order to code up the Dijkstra as well, and hopefully that will be that would really help you in other problems related to graph as well. Okay, so without further ado, let's take an example. So let's say we have this example. So there are these cities which are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, and what you have to do is to travel from city number 1 to city number 7. Okay, so if you have to travel from city 1 to 7, where this arrow denotes that you can travel from city 1 to city 2 and the cost is 1, or you can travel from city 1 to city 3 and the cost is 2, and so on. So if you have to do this kind of stuff, what is the minimum cost that you will have to incur in order to travel from city 1 to city 7 is the first thing that we are interested in calculating. And suppose if k is equal to 3, that means that you can only have at max 3 stops in between. So in other words, what I'm saying is, if say this is the starting city, so this is corresponding to k equal to 0, and if this is the ending city, so this can be at max k equal to 4. Why? Because I can have at max 3 cities in between. Let's say these are the 3 cities, or let's say the 1, 2, 3, these are the 3 cities in between. So it will be k equals 1 here, k equals 2 here, and k equals 3 here. Okay, so there are these 3 cities in between, and this is the 4th one. Okay, so the maximum value that I can have for the k, or if I do this 1, 2, 3 and 4, if I assign the number for all the cities that I'm traveling in the path, the maximum number here can go up to 4. Okay, so we'll try to solve this problem, and we'll try to see how we can solve this problem. So this is exactly Dijkstra, as I said before, with an additional constraint of this k that we have here. So what we'll do is, we'll first start with this city. So since this is the starting city, so the cost of traveling to this city is 0, and the value of k that we have here is k equal to 0, because since this is the starting city, so I haven't actually covered any city in between, so that's why k equal to 0 in this particular case. So I'll start from here. So once I start from here, let me just use a different color for that. Yeah, so k is equal to 0 here. Okay, so once I start from here, so I'll just mark this thing as like visited, or it's like kind of I have processed this city, and what I'll be doing is I'll be going to the neighboring cities that I have. Okay, so since I can start from this city with a cost of 0, and if I add this cost of 0 to this cost of 1, so I reach at this particular city with a cost of 1, because that's a 0 plus 1, so that's the cost of 1. And since here I had k equal to 1, so here I'll be having k equals here I had k equals 0, so here I'll be having k equals 1. What does that mean? That means that I had a total of 0 cities in between while I was visiting this first city. Now if I go to this city, I have a total of 1 cities that I have visited apart from the source city that I have, which is 1. Okay, so k is equal to 1, and the cost of going to this city 2 is also 1, because this 0 plus 1 is 1. Okay, and the other neighbor city of this city 1 is this 3. So the cost of starting from the city 1 is 0, and 0 plus 2 is 2. So the cost with which I can reach to the city 3 is 2. So I'll be just writing a 2 here, and the value of k that I'll be having is k equals 1. Why? Because I can start from here, which is k is equal to 0, and I go to another city, so it's like one city is this and second city is this. So apart from the source city, I have this one additional city, so that's why we have k equals 1. Okay, next thing that we have to do here is, so in usual Dijkstra, what do you do is you actually take these weights into account or this costs into account, and you pick the minimum cost. But here we don't only have the cost, but we also have the value k. So what we'll be doing is we'll be giving the priority to k first, and we'll be giving the priority to the cost afterwards. Okay. The reason for this is, so if you have, say, if you have to reach this particular city and you can reach from k equals 3 and another is say k equals 5, which one are you going to prefer? So here I am preferring k equals 3, because if I visit from a city which is having k equals 3, and if I visit one more city, so that will be having k equals 4. That means that I have already visited 3 cities apart from the source cities, and if I visit this city after that, so I'll be visiting a total of 4 cities apart from the source city. Okay, so I'm just giving the priority to k first and then to the cost. In fact, you can use the cost also as the first measure, but then in this algorithm we'll be just giving the priority to k first, that is the minimum value of the k, and then the minimum value of the cost. So if you take these two into consideration, both of them are having the same value of k, which is k equal to 1. So since the value of k is same, so I'll be giving the next priority to the cost. So which among these two is having the minimum cost? So I'll realize that this particular city 2 is having a minimum cost, which is the cost of 2. So I'll be just processing this city and I'll be going to its neighbors. So if I go from this city to this city, what is the cost that I incur is the first thing, and what's the value of the k. So if I see the cost that I had at city 2 is 1, and this 1 plus 5 is 6. So the cost that I'll incur while I'm going to the city 4 is 6, and the value of k will be k equals 2. Why? Because I had visited one extra city at this node, and if I go to another city, that's k equals 2. Okay, so this is k equals 0, this is k equals 1, this is k equals 2. K equals 2 means apart from the source city, I have 2 more cities that I have visited in the path. Okay, so this is one neighbor. Another neighbor of this 2 is this. So since the cost of visiting 2 is 1, so the cost of visiting the city number 5 is 1 plus 7, which is 8. And again, if I calculate k, so k is 1 here, so I just add one more value to the k, so k will be 2 for this node. Okay, cool, this is done. Now we are left with 1, 2 and 3 cities that we still have, which we haven't still covered, which we haven't still progressed, that is I haven't still marked this green tick on these 3 cities. So what I'll be doing is I'll be giving the priority to k. So whichever is having the minimum k among these 3, I'll be picking that. So you can see that this city is having the minimum k, so I'll be just picking that. So the cost is 2 and the neighbors are these 2 neighbors. Okay, so if I go from this city to this city, so what's the cost for that? So since the cost was 2 to go to the city number 3, and if I add 2 plus 5, that's 7. Okay, so I am having a cost of 7. But at the same time, if you see what's the value of k, so the value of k is k equals 1 plus 1, that's 2. So it says that before I had this cost of 8 with the k value as 2, now I am having a cost of 7 and the value of k is still 2. So if this is the scenario, do I need to even store this value 8? No, right? Because I can actually reach to this city with k equals 2 and with a lesser cost, which is 7. So I actually don't need to store this cost 8. So what I'll be doing is I'll be just removing this cost, which is 8, and I'll just be using the cost 7. Okay, because with k equals 2, I can reach to this city with a lesser cost, which is a total cost of 7. Okay, so I'll be updating the value of this city. Okay, cool. The next neighbor is this city 6. So since I'm having a cost of 2 and this is 2 plus 2 4, so I can reach this city 6 with a total cost of 4, and with k equals, since this is 1, so this is going to be k equals 2. Okay, cool. So we have processed this city as well. So I'll be marking this as like this maybe. Yeah, so it looks bad. So let's leave that. Yeah, now we have these 3 cities, which is city number 4, city number 5 and city number 6. We'll be taking a look, we'll be considering the city which is having the minimum k value. So if you see, all of them are having the k value of 2. So the next thing that we consider is the cost. So this is cost 6, this is cost 7 and this is cost 4. So of course this particular city, which is city number 6, is having the minimum cost, so I'll be considering that. So I'll be considering this and I'll be going to its neighbors. So there's only one neighbor, which is this city number 5. So if I go from this to this, what is the cost and what is the value of the k? that I have. So if I go from here to here, the cost is going to be this 4 plus 2, which is 6. So I'll just write that cost 6. So I'm having a cost of 6. But at the same time, since k was 2 here, and if I go to another city, so the k value will become 3. Same logic, because since k is equal to 2, that means that apart from the source city, I am having 2 extra cities, and if I am adding one more city, so k is going to be equal to 3. So I'll be just having another value which is k equals 3. Notice that I will not be deleting this k equals 2 here. The reason for this is, what if, for example, you are only allowed to visit a total of 3 cities apart from the source city. So if you go from this k equal to 3 to this 7, so that will make k equal to 4. And that's not allowed. Why? Because as I said, what if you are only allowed to visit a total of 3 extra cities apart from the source city, but if we have k equals 4, that means that we have visited 4 extra cities, which is this one, this one, this one, and this one, apart from the source node, and that's not allowed. Okay, so that is why I'll not be replacing this k equals 2 and cost 7, but I'll be adding another entry which is k equals 3 and the cost is 6. Okay, so I'll be having for this particular node, I'll be having this and this, both the entries. Okay, so with that, this node is also completed, and the nodes that we are left with, this and this, again will give the priority to k. So if I see here, the minimum value of k is 2, which is for this and for this, and since both of them are having the same k value, the next thing that I'll be looking at is the cost. So since this city is having the cost of 6, so I'll be processing this city first. Okay, so I'll be processing this city first. I can go from this city to city number 7 with a total cost of 6 plus 2, which is 8, right? So I can go to this city with a total cost of 8, and the value of k is going to be k equals 2 plus 1, so that's k equals 3. That means that I can actually have a total of 3 cities that I can visit apart from the source city. Okay, so that's why we have the cost of 8 when k is equal to 3. Okay, cool. So with that, this is also visited. The next thing that we are going to focus on is, again, I have this entry and I have this entry, and the minimum value of k is for this entry where I have the cost 7 and the k value is 2. So I'll be picking that. So the cost is 7 and the k value is 2. Okay, since the cost is 7 and the k value is 2, if I go to this node, I'll be able to go with a total cost of 7 plus 1, which is 8. So the cost is going to remain the same, which is 8, and since k is equal to 2, so 2 plus 1 is going to be 3, so that's k equals 3. And we see that since for k equals 3, this city 7 is already having the cost as 8, so it doesn't practically affect whether I come from this or I come from this path. Okay, it doesn't make any modification, or it doesn't affect either way I come, it doesn't affect. Okay, so with that, this is also done. Next thing that I'll be considering is, I have this entry where the cost is 6 and the k value is 3, and I have this entry where the cost is 8 and k value is 3. Okay, with that, what I'll be doing is, since both of them are having the same value of the k, I'll be then giving the priority to the cost. So which among these two is having the lower cost? Since this is having the lower cost, so I'll be picking that. The cost is 6 and I'll be going to its neighbors. Since the cost is 6, so 6 plus 1, that is 7. So that means that I can go to this neighbor with a cost of 7. So I'll be just writing that 7 here. And along with that, since k is equal to 3 at this particular node for this cost 6, so if I add one more city, so the number of cities is going to be 4. So that means I'll be having k equals 4. Okay, cool. So we have already processed this one. And if you go to this last node, there are no neighboring nodes to this. So this is the moment where we end our algorithm. Okay, so in the whole process, remember, k that we are using here is something which is k equals 4, means that there are a total of 4 cities apart from the source cities that I have visited along the path when I have reached this particular node. Okay, so if you consider this k equals to 4, the path is this, 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 and this. So apart from this source city, I have visited a 1, 2, 3, and 4 city extra in order to reach the destination city. Okay, so that's what the k equal to 4 is, and the cost is 7. So if you add up the cost along this path, that's going to be 2 plus 2 4, 4 plus 2 6, 6 plus 1 7. So I have a cost of 7 when I have k equals 4, and when k is equal to 3, the minimum cost that I can have is 8. That means that if the path length is such that I visit a total of 3 cities apart from the source city, because that's what the value of k is, the cost that I'm going to incur is 8, and that's precisely this path, which is this 1 and this 5 and this 2. So you can see that I'm visiting a total of this 1, 2 and this 3 cities in extra apart from this source city, and the total cost that I'm incurring is 1 plus 5, which is 6, 6 plus 2, which is 8. So that's an 8. Now if the k value given is 3 in the question, okay, so this k value and the k value in the algorithm might be different. So in the question what they're saying is, if you have k as 3, that means that you can visit a total of 3 cities in between the source and the destination. That means that the destination can be present at k equals 4, right? Because if this is source and you can visit k cities in between, and this is the destination, so if this is the 0th city and you have k cities more in between, this is going to be the k plus 1th city, right? So what does that mean? That since k is equal to 3, that means that at this node 7 I can use at max k equals 4. Again, the reason is, in the question k equals to 3 means that in between the source and the destination I can have at max 3 cities. So the index of the destination city can be k plus 1, which is 4. Okay, so just forget about this k. Let's say this is capital K and this is small k, and the maximum k that I can consider at this destination node is k equals 4. So that's what I'll be considering. So with k equals 3 I can have a minimum cost of 8, with k equals 4 I can have a minimum cost of 7. So I'll be taking the minimum of these two things, and I can say that I can reach at the minimum cost of 7 to this particular node 7, and I can do that with k equals 4. That means that the destination node is going to be k equals 4. Okay, so I hope this algorithm is clear to you. This is exactly like Dijkstra. If you just remove this k part that we were doing in the algorithm, this algorithm becomes exactly Dijkstra. And next what we'll be doing is, we'll be seeing the implementation of how you can implement this thing. I have seen many times that people are often confused while implementing Dijkstra, whether to use minif, whether to use array, whether to use set. So hopefully after the implementation part you'll be a bit clear on how you can implement Dijkstra in a concise and in a much better and cleaner way. Okay, so let's jump to the code section for now, and let's see this whole algorithm implemented in the code part. Okay, just one thing to remember, in the question that they are giving, this k equals 3, so we'll be just adding 1 to this, because as we have seen here, since k is equal to 3, that means that in between we can have 3 cities. So the destination city can have k as this k plus 1, so which is the destination city can be present at k equals 4. So this is one modification that we'll be doing directly in the question in order to implement this algorithm. Okay, cool. So I have written down the steps for you guys as usual, so you can just follow these steps. You can pause the video here and you can try it out on your own. I really recommend you to try this thing. Like, implementing Dijkstra is something that will give you a really good grip over coding as well. There are a lot of concepts that you can learn while you are implementing Dijkstra. So I really recommend you to implement this thing on your own. Pause the video here. So we'll start the implementation now. Okay, so the first thing that we are going to need is we need to declare the costs array of the dimension n cross k. Okay, why n cross k? So we need to see here that for each of the city that we have, I am having a cost which is for each city and each k. Now the costs array that I'll be having, of course, needs to take care of all the cities. So since there can be n cities, so the dimension would be n, and for each of these cities I can have k equals 1, k equals 2, k equals 3 and so on at max n, because that's what they are saying in the question also, that k value is in the range of 0 to n minus 1. So I can have at max n cities in between. Okay, so I'll be doing that. I'll be declaring this costs array of size n cross n. So n, as they have mentioned in the question, will be in the range of 1 to 100. So I'll be declaring this 2D array of size, say 111 cross 111, something more than 100. Okay, just that much. Next thing is to declare the graph G. So this is the concept where you have to use the concept of adjacency list. Okay, so this is where we'll be making this graph. So what we'll be doing is, we'll be having a list corresponding to city 1, we'll be having a list corresponding to city 4 and so on, and for each of the list we'll be appending the neighbors. So for example, in the list of the 1, I'll be having 2 and 3. So this is what it will look like. In the list of 1, I'll be having 2 and 3. And not just 2 and 3, I'll also be having the cost as well. So I'll be having something like 2, 1, which means that from the city 1, I can go to the node 2 or the city 2 with the cost of 1, because this is the cost and this is the city. And next entry that I'll be having is 3, 2. So what does that mean? That from 1, I can go to city 3 with a cost of 2. So this kind of adjacency list is what we'll be making next, and this is why we need to declare our graph G as well. Okay, so we just declare the graph G, and that's also of the size, say 111, something more than the n that they have given. Okay, and next step is to initialize all the costs to infinity. So before we actually start our whole algorithm, what is the cost of visiting each city? So we'll just initialize all these costs to infinity, because initially we haven't reached to any city, right? So we'll be just initializing all the costs to infinity. That's what we'll be doing, and we'll be doing this for all the cities and all the values of k. So that's going to be I equals 0, I less than 111, I plus plus. And all the costs that I have, I'll be initializing them to int max, okay, because that's what the infinity is in C++. Okay, so all the costs initialized to int max is what we have done here. Okay, the next step is to build the graph G, also known as the adjacency list, and using the given source and the destination cost pairs. Okay, so what we'll be doing is we'll be iterating on all the values of the values that we have in this flights array. So for const and %t colon flights, so I'll be iterating on each of the entries that we have in the flights. Each of the entry that we have is of this format: source, destination, price. So what I'll be doing is I'll be taking the source, which is present at the 0th index, and I'll be pushing this distance, price pair in this G of source. Okay, so I can have src equals p of 0, destination equals p of 1, and cost equals p of 2. And I'll be doing G of src dot pushback. Okay, maybe I need to have this as the vector int. Okay, because each entry in this graph is going to be 2 values, which is the destination, cost. Okay, because this is what we had the destination and the cost in the adjacency list of 1. So that's what we'll be doing here as well. So G of src dot pushback, destination, cost. Okay, so this will build our graph G here. Okay, next step 5. Declare set S that will contain entries of the form k, cost, city, and insert the source entry. Okay, so what the heck is this here, and how are we going to use this thing while we are implementing our algorithm? So remember, every time we had some entries, so for example we had this entry k equals 1, 1, and this k equals 1, 2. Okay, so I'll just undo and I'll just reach to that point, so you will realize like what exactly I'm talking about right now. So suppose we are at this point, okay, where I have these 2 entries, which is this is the first one, okay, and this is the second one. So what all information do we have here? We have the value of k and we have the cost, and corresponding to this value of k and the cost, we have the city as well. Okay, so that's a pair of k, cost, city, right? And what we'll be doing is we'll be storing all these kind of k, cost, city pairs in a set. The reason for storing them in a set is, since set in C++ is an ordered set, so we'll be able to order this all kind of k, cost, city pairs, first based on the value of the k, next based on the cost. And this is what exactly we want. And the beginning element of the set is always going to give you the minimum value from the set. So that's what we'll be doing. We'll be declaring a set which is actually a tuple that will contain 3 integers, and we'll name that set S. And what we'll be doing is we'll be inserting the source entry in the set. So what do I mean by inserting the source entry? So that means that this particular entry that we have here, which is corresponding to the source node, which is corresponding to k equal to 0, and which is corresponding to cost equals 0. So the entry that we'll be inserting is, since k is 0 and the cost to visit that particular city is 0 as well, so the entries that we are going to insert is 0, 0, city. The city in the starting is the source city. Okay, so we'll be inserting 0, 0, src in the set that we have. So s dot insert 0, 0, src. So this is what we'll be doing. because this is what the source destination is. Okay. Next thing is to actually initialize the cost of the source entry to be 0. Why? Because since we have this costs array in which we are storing all the costs corresponding to a city and a k, so that's what we'll be doing. So since this city with value of k is having a cost of 0. Why? Because what is the cost of going to the source city when you are not encountering any city in between? That's going to be 0, right? You just start from that city and that's going to be 0. So costs of SRC of 0 is going to be 0. Okay. So the next thing is we just run the Dijkstra algorithm while our set is not empty, because the moment our set is empty, that means that we have encountered all the cities at least once, and we have visited all their neighbors also, and we are finished with the algorithm, and will not be having any of these entries, any kind of entries in our set. So this is the case when I'll be having this done, this done, this done, this done, and so on. All the nodes will be done already. Okay. So what I'll be doing is I'll be first obtaining the entry with the minimum k value or the cost value. Okay. Why? Because as we saw, suppose if I have this entry and this entry in my set, just forget about this one. So if I have these entries in my set, I need to extract the entry which is corresponding to the minimum one, right? So if I have to do that, that's basically present at the beginning of the set, because set in C is an ordered set. So that's what I'll be doing. So I'll be just doing s dot begin. Okay, and I'll be having k comma cost comma city. So I'll just do tie equals okay. So what you can do here is, since we are using the tuple for this set, so you can just tie the value that we obtain from this tuple using k comma cost comma city, and we just do star it here. So this is again a standard C++ notation. So what it does is it just takes all the value from the iterator, which is the first value, the second value, and the third value, and I'm storing all these values in k and cost and city, and that's what this tie function is used for. Okay, because remember we had three things, which is the k, which is the cost and the city, and we are inserting this tuple in our set. Okay, so that is why I'm just extracting these three values, which is the k comma cost comma city, and I'm just storing in these three variables. Okay, the next thing that we need to do is to actually erase this particular entry from our set. Okay, so we'll just do that as well. So s dot erase it, and that's going to erase this particular entry it from our set, which is this particular pair of k comma cost comma city from our set. Okay, there is one thing that we need to realize here. What if we have already reached the maximum k that we can? So for example, in this problem, the maximum k that was allowed was k equals 4, right? Okay, so we didn't actually increase the k, so let's just initially increase the k as well. Okay, because as we already saw, the destination can be actually at the position of k plus 1, so I've just increased the k, and that's the location of the destination that we can have. Okay, so if we have already covered all the cities that we can, so that basically means that k is equals the capital K, right? And if that is the case, then we actually cannot go to the neighboring cities. Why? Because for example, if you are only allowed till k equals 2, for example, so can you go to any other city from this node after k equals 2? No, right? Because since you are only allowed till k equals 2, if you go to any other city, any other neighboring city from here, that's automatically going to increase the value of the k. So you are not allowed to go there. So you can only have the value of k, whatever is the maximum allowed value. So the maximum allowed value is capital K. So we have already increased the value of the k here, and if we have already reached that maximum value, so we just don't do the next part, and we just continue the next iteration of our this while loop. Okay, now if the k value is not reached this capital K, so what we can do is we can try going to the each neighbors of the city. So since all the neighbors can be accessed from this adjacency list from using this g of city, so I'll be just iterating on all the neighbors, and the thing that we have to do is, so we'll just see that what if I can reach this particular neighbor P from this particular node that I have here, which is the city. Okay, so I'll first be actually calculating the cost. So let me just store the cost in current cost. Okay, so what's the cost of going to the neighbor from this city? Okay, since the cost of reaching this city is this cost, so that's going to be cost plus and what is the weight of going from this city to its neighbor? So remember that we have stored pairs like destination comma cost. So the cost from going to the source to destination can be accessed with P of 1. So that's what we'll be doing, and that's what becomes the current cost as well, which is the cost with which I have reached this city city that I have here for the value of k. So the cost of reaching its neighbor becomes cost plus P of 1. Okay, so that's what my current cost is. Now if this current cost is actually less than the cost that I already have with k plus 1. Why? Because I have already covered up to k cities for this city. So if I go to the next city, the number of cities is going to be k plus 1, right? So if the current cost that I have is already less than costs of the neighboring city, which is P of 0. So remember, this pair P is of the form destination comma cost, right? So the city can be accessed with P of 0 and the cost can be accessed with P of 1. Okay, so if the current cost is less than costs of P of 0 and k plus 1, why? Because since this particular city is having the value k, so the neighboring city will be having the value of k plus 1. Okay, so that is why I will be just comparing with the costs of P of 0 of k of 1. And if you have a look at this example, this is exactly the case where we had, so we reached this particular city from this way, right? So I had a 1 plus 7, so I had a cost of 8 before, but later I realized that actually if I take this path 2 plus 5, I can actually reach to this city with k equals 2 and not with the cost of 8 but with the cost of 7, right? So this is what we are updating here right now. So we'll be just updating the cost. So if current cost is less than costs of P of 0 comma k plus 1, then I'll be just updating the cost here, and the updated cost is going to be this current cost. Okay, so this is what I'll be doing. So costs of P of 0 comma k plus 1 is current cost. That's what we'll be having. Okay, and once we have this thing, so we'll be inserting this thing in our set as well. Remember, in the set all the entries are of the form k comma cost comma city. So k for this destination city is going to be k plus 1 because that's what we have. The next is the cost. So the cost that we have is the current cost, and the city that we have is this P of 0, okay, because all the pairs in this graph are of the form destination comma cost, so basically the city comma cost. So that's what I'll be doing. So it's going to be P of 0, and that's what I have inserted in my set as well. So once that is done, you've actually completed your whole Dijkstra algorithm and you don't need to do anything else. So this is the point where we are done with the implementation of this while loop. Okay, again I'll just go through this part once again. So we just run this while loop till we have some entry in our set. We just obtain the minimum most entry from our set. Each entry is of the form k comma cost comma city. So we have this k comma cost comma city here, and whatever is the minimum most entry, once we pop it out from the set, we just erase it as well. If the entry that we have right now is the maximum value of k that is allowed, so since we cannot, that means that we cannot execute the rest of the part, which is we cannot go to the neighboring cities of this particular city. Okay, so we'll just continue the loop and we'll just not execute this part and we'll go to the next iteration. Okay, but if in case it's not, so what I'll be doing is I'll be going to each of the neighbor city of this particular city, which I can obtain from this adjacency list G, and I can obtain this from G of city. Remember that each entry in this G is of the form destination comma cost. So P of 0 is going to give me the destination, and P of 1 is going to give me the cost. Okay, I see I missed a bracket here. Okay, cool. Now what I do is I actually calculate the cost from cost of going from this city to the neighboring city, and that can be done using this. So the cost is a previous cost that I incur in order to reach this city till now, plus P of 1 is the cost of the path, cost of the road, or cost or the distance between the source and the destination, because this is what I have stored here in the cost. Okay, so that's going to be my current cost. If the current cost is less than the previous cost that I already have for this particular city P of 0 and for the value that is k plus 1, because of course if I already have the value of k for this city, the value of k for the neighboring city is going to be k plus 1. So I check that if the current cost is less than costs of P of 0 of K of 1, so I'll be just updating the cost with the current cost, and since I have this new entry now, so I'll be just inserting the new entry in my set, which is K plus 1 comma current cost comma P of 0, because remember each entry in the set that we had was of the form K comma cost comma city. So I'll be inserting it in the same way, which is K is now K plus 1 because it's for the destination city, cost is now current cost, and city is now P of 0. So once we have that, this is the whole part of our Dijkstra, and what we have to do next is we'll be just obtaining the minimum value that we have for the destination node. Okay, and remember that I can reach the destination node either in one city or in two city or in three cities and so on. So what I'm saying here is, suppose if you are allowed to have K equals 4, so what all are the values that you will be considering while calculating the answer for this thing? So you can either reach the destination with K equals 0, that means that both the source and the destination are same, or you can reach the destination with K equals 1, or you can reach the destination with K equals 2, or you can reach the destination with K equals 3, or you can reach the destination with K equals 4. So if you are allowed till K equals 4, so these are all the possibilities with which you can reach this particular destination. Okay, and you'll be taking the minimum of all these costs that you have. Suppose if the destination is the 0th city that I visit, or if the destination is the first city that I visit, or if the destination is the second city that I visit, so all these values will be stored in costs of, since the destination is 7 here, so costs of 7 of 0, cost of 7 of 1, cost of 7 of 2, and so on, right? So I'll be just taking the minimum of all these things. So I can just directly obtain the minimum as, so I can just directly use this function called bin underscore element in C++, and costs of destination comma costs of destination plus K plus 1. So why am I doing K plus 1? So that's the end pointer. So before this, till costs of destination plus K, it will try to find the minimum. It excludes the this endpoint. So it's like it excludes this one. Okay, so it's like this. And suppose if I am not even able to reach this destination, so in that case, since I told you before that I'll be initializing all the costs to infinity, right? Because that's what we did also. We initialize all the costs to int max. Now suppose in this whole process, if you were only allowed till K equals 2, so the moment you are here with K equals 2, of course you cannot go to the neighboring city because that's not allowed. Or also if you see here, if you are at K equals 2, of course you cannot go to the neighboring city because that's not allowed, because you can only reach till K equals 2. Okay, so if that is the case, the cost of this destination city is going to remain infinity. So we'll just have the last check whether if the answer that we obtain is still the minimum, the infinity distance that we have initialized with. So in that case we need to return a -1, because that's what they are saying, that if it's not reachable, so for example if there is no such route, you should just output a -1. Okay, so we'll be just setting answer equal to 1 and we'll be just returning the answer. Let's just try to run this code and let's see if this works or not. Okay, this works. So our answer is 200 and the expected answer is also 200. Okay, let's just try to have this other input for which the output was 500, and the source, destination and K value is 0, 2 and 0. 0, 2, 0, and this array is this. Okay, let's just try to run this. Okay, 500. Let's just try to submit the code. Okay, so it's accepted. So I hope this part is clear to you. Again, this code is actually very similar to Dijkstra, but the additional thing here is that you also have this K here, which you don't have in Dijkstra, because in Dijkstra you are not limited with the number of paths that can come in between. Okay, in the naive Dijkstra. So in order to do that, what we have done is, along with the weights that we have in Dijkstra, we also have the value of K. So I understand that many of you might not be familiar with Dijkstra or DFS or graphs or those kind of stuffs. Even many of you might be the starters in competitive programming world. So even concepts like adjacency list or adjacency matrix and so on might be something that you might not be very comfortable with. So if you want me to make a separate tutorial on that, if you want me to cover Dijkstra, if you want me to cover other concepts from graph or trees or things like that, do let me know in the comment section. I'll be very happy to create videos on that and to help you guys out on that part. And I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you have any doubt, any suggestion, any queries, do let me know in the comment section. Again, thanks for watching and have a nice day. Thank you.